Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Applesauce here today, and today I have Il Sicario. This guy is insane. He placed rank 3 in the world last season. Today I'm going to be breaking down all of his attacks. I'm going to show his attack style, what he does. I'm going to be showing his army, and just going over this guy. This guy is insane. He's placed rank 3 in the world last season, rank 42, and rank 149. All in the top 200 with 3 accounts. He's doing something right here, so I'm going to be breaking down his attack. He's using Fireball Rocket Loon, which I'll show his army on the screen now for you guys. In this army, he uses 18 Rocket Loons and the Minion Prince instead of the Royal Champion. I know a lot of players like to use the Royal Champion, but he makes the Minion Prince work so well in this army. Guys, I know this army looks difficult, and it is one of the hardest armies in the game, but if you can master this army, you will 3-star every base. This is the strongest strategy in the game, hands down. It's just also one of the more difficult ones. Let me get into it. Let's break down his hits and see what we can find out. All right, first hit in with Il Sicario. This guy is a monster fireball player, and he just identifies bases so well. He's going to start off here and use the Flame Flanger pretty much right away and start off an early fireball. So he gets out the Clan Castle pretty much right away there, and it seems like the Clan Castle is one of his main targets. So this guy placed top 200 on 3 different accounts, which is absolutely insane, and rank 3 in the world. Especially with these new damage modifiers, it is not easy, and it's really showing some of the skill level of some of these top players. This guy's going to have all of his socials that are going to be linked in the description, guys, so you guys can check him out on there. He does have a YouTube channel. He does have an X that he says he's a bit more active on. And as well, he told me he's going to link all of his bases they used in like the last week of the season on that X page as well. So you guys are welcome to check that out. But super grateful for him for letting me show some of these attacks. And guys, I'm going to be zoomed out pretty much this entire time while we go through his attacks, because this guy is multitasking nonstop. So he goes in and uses the Flame Flanger on this attack, and he told me he uses the Flame Flanger like 90 to 95% of the time. He rarely uses any other siege except the Flame Flanger. And I think the reason there is because the Flame Flanger can just get some insane value if you use it right. And there's always Flame Flanger value on the base, even if it doesn't look like there is. And he'll set it up so that he can get that Flame Flanger value. Use the Rocket Loon right up there to pull the poison. Always smart to do that. And he sets up so his king and queen go perfectly inside the base and get this town hall for him. Gives it a rage and an invis to help support it in the core here. And just let his warden kind of stay out of trouble and stay out of damage. He just do its thing on the top side here. So really smart there. He usually doesn't dive his warden into like the most heavy damage area. It's something I have noticed. Gets the early fireball when possible. Now it puts in the Minion Prince on the back end here. And the Minion Prince has the Metal Pants plus the Dark Orb. And with that, he's able to freeze up the back end too for whatever he wants, because that Dark Orb just shoots out and it freezes up so many defenses. And here he's not even going to really need it. And he's also going to swag a bunch of spells. And guys, you're going to notice this is a recurring theme for him. He swags spells pretty much like every attack. And these are his last attacks of the season, by the way, guys. So this is from the season where he finished rank 3. And I am going to be showing all of his accounts. So all of his accounts finished in the top 200. And just to save time, he did send all of his accounts. But great first attack by him. Next attack in, and this is on Dima. So Dima's actually another pro player. And he's going to go in and attack his base. Sorry, it's a bit zoomed out here, but there's just going to be so much going on here. So puts in his warden on the bottom side and some Rocket Loons to help carve out a little path for his warden here, just to make sure his pathing is good. And again, guys, he sees where the Flame Flanger spot is, and he typically, what I've seen is a lot of times he's going to use the Flame Flanger alongside the warden here. And so it's going to work in concert with the warden and just to carve out this section of the base. But yeah, even if the base doesn't look like it has Flame Flanger value, he just uses the Flame Flanger. He finds a way to use it, even if it doesn't get that most insane value. It seems it's just always the best siege. Another question I asked him, which I know people are probably going to wonder for him, is why do you have that one random hog in your army? He told me for a couple reasons. One, it can scout for traps for your siege, your Flame Flanger. And two, some invis bases, if the defense is on the outside of the base, you can use the hog to, if you use with an invisibility, you can use it to trigger that invis tower, which I thought was just genius. And he's going to set up this fireball right here, guys, and he wants a nice deep fireball here. He doesn't always go for a super deep fireball, but he does when he can. And again, he's not sending his warden into the most high damage area either, and so it's been pretty easy for him so far here. But he sets up the craziest fireball to get in the core. Ice blocks the warden, which is another great trick you'll see him use often. He ice blocks when needed and gets that fireball perfectly into that core, pretty much takes out the entire core. After that, sends up his king, his queen, and ice golem on the top side here. And he kind of carved out a path earlier just so he can get his king and queen in there. Fights the minion prince, the ice golem froze everything up. Now at this point, he's doing a bit of multitasking. You know, the most important thing, and something I've seen from his attacks, is he doesn't let his warden die. Like, you cannot let your warden die in these fireball attacks. So it takes a great deal of multitasking, and I would bet money that this guy's on an iPad. I didn't ask him, but I don't think I need to ask him. He needs to be on something where you can multitask here. And when you're sending in the king and queen, something he does here as well is he doesn't send the king and queen next to the warden. You don't want your heroes to pull your warden if possible. I know the warden, the minion prince here, pulled the warden, but not always what he's going after. It's kind of an accident when that happens, or, you know, sometimes just happens. But again, just dominates this one. Not many, no swag spells here. This one's a bit of a closer one, but hey, a 3-star is a 3-star. That's all that matters here. All right, next hit in, and your guys gotta think, okay, hook tower bases. That's got to be public enemy number one for these warden charge players. You would think so, and it is tricky if you don't know what you're doing. But Sicario here, what he does is he's gonna put his king into the hook tower. Does an early fireball there to get out the CC. Again, not the most insane value, but if he can get out the CC, he will get out the CC. So he just sets up with that early fireball. But you're going to see what he's going to do here. He's going to place his king in and queen to get inside that hook so his warden doesn't get hooked in. You don't want your warden to get hooked because then the attack's over. But he wants to send in his king to get hooked in by the hook tower because then he has the earthquake boots plus the spiky ball, and it pretty much takes out the hook tower and the core of the base. So, and you're going to see him do that here. Send in the ice golem first, then king, queen, and the ice golem pops off early there. Now his king's going to go in and get inside the range when it gets that fire spitter of that hook tower. Look at that, gets hooked in. That's exactly what he wants, guys, because he does not want his warden to get in there first, because that is an issue. So hooks in his king. That pretty much nukes the whole core section. Now his queen can go and move up towards that town hall section and get some more value. Again, keeping his warden alive the whole time. So he's multitasking. He's doing all this stuff and multitasking. And then queen's gonna able to take out the town hall here with the giant. And so again, flame flinger value. There's always flame flinger value. So because he sent in his king and queen, and that distracted for him, that allowed him to send in his flame flinger. It doesn't always get the most insane value, but it seems in pretty much every attack he's using the flame flinger. Sends in the mini prince in this back end here, and his mini prince is able to freeze up this back end as well. And plus it has that metal pants, so I think he's just waiting for the right time. And now it does pull the warden, unfortunately, but I think it all works out here. And again, guys, look, he has 2 rages left. He uses one of the rages right there, and plenty of rocket loons. Going to use those in to help clean up this back end here. But you'll notice, guys, this guy has, I think that's 4 spell slots right now. And this is legend mode, guys. This is not any normal mode. This is the one attack. In my opinion, the Fireball Rocket Loon is the most skilled attack in the game. If you guys can pull this off, it's insane. It's so strong, but it's the most skilled attack in the game for sure. And look at this. Guys, swags like 4 spells and a bunch of troop space here too as well. Nice attack by him for this one. Alright, next hit in, and we got this base, double poison base. And these are all some of the best bases, guys. These aren't just your normal bases either. Like, remember, this guy's rank 3, and he's rank 42. Like, he's really high up in the top 200. And so you're going to see some of the best bases possible against this guy. And they're going to be trapped super heavily to this kind of stuff. But it just doesn't matter to him. So sends in the flame fling on this left side, sees the instant value right there. No expos that are really going to outrange it right there, and it's going to be able to take out those 2 ricochet cannons. So he sees that. That's basically free for him. And he's going to be setting up this fireball. And so his goal with this fireball is to get it right in that core. That crusher mortar is like the most beautiful spot for a fireball, and he sees it right away. So going to fight the monolith here. The warden fighting the monolith is really not an issue. It can 1v1 that, no problem. And I mean, I don't know how he does it here. I play an iPhone, guys, so for me, I could never use this attack. It is a bit difficult on like phone. There goes the fireball in, takes out the entire core. There goes the CC. I mean, at this point, it's like GG's after you get that great of a fireball. So really good identification by him. King, Queen, and Ice Golem on the top side here. That's King, Queen, and Ice Golem always go together and never next to the warden, it seems. And so he's going to pop his Earthquake Boots, open up that wall so his queen get inside this town hall compartment. He wants that to take out the town hall there. And now at this point, all he has to do is just keep the warden alive. Don't let the warden get absolutely annihilated, and you'll do okay. And so he has to invest a rage and an invis there to keep that warden alive. But as long as the warden stays alive here, it's pretty much a 3-star. And if you guys notice on the bottom of the screen on his spell slot, he has an insane amount of spells left. I mean, I didn't realize after watching these attacks for like the first time just how many spells he has left. But a lot of his attacks, he just has a stupid amount of spells left. Like, he didn't bother to use half his spells. I mean, let's see. That's 4, 5, 6, 7 spell slots that he did not use. How much can you swag? Anyways, this is a really good attack by him. I mean, crazy fireball, really good value there. All right, next attack by him, and this is a pretty common rage base here. You might have seen it before, but gonna set the warden on the bottom side. Now he wants to fireball one of those rage compartments, and then if you notice, he's also gonna set up the flame flinger. So while the warden charge is going on the top side, he's using those rocket loons, and he's not afraid to invest rocket loons. He will invest in rocket loons to set up that flame flinger. And flame flinger goes in. Now the only thing that you really got to worry about here is that expo, but that's pretty far from there, and then that queen. But other than that, he's pretty good. So it'll be a while, and his flame flinger will get plenty of value. Ice blocks the warden so it can just stay put. You don't want it to get, easy way to fail is you miss your fireball, or the warden moves up while it's fireballing. So really good ice block there. Takes out one of the rage sections. Now his flame flinger is just going to be able to work here and do its thing. So just going to keep pushing in here with his warden and try to snipe out as much of the base as he can. And again, now it's not in a super high damage area, so now it's kind of just chilling, but he's got to keep an eye on it. So all these things are going to happen together. So now he's going to just wait until his warden gets in the right place to set up the king, queen, and ice golem. And does use some rocket loons to find some traps there and get a partial pull that CC. Now he's gonna set up the pathing. So if you notice what he's doing on this bottom side here, he's setting up the pathing so his king, queen, and ice golem move right into the core of this base. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want his king or queen to walk around the base. He wants it to go in the compartment he has chosen. He's opening up that compartment. He's saying, you're gonna go in this compartment, otherwise we're gonna have an issue. So king, queen going in, and it goes right where he wants it to go. At the same time, he's got to watch his warden here. His warden's now fighting the minion prince, so pops a poison there. That saves the warden there. King, queen are going to go into this compartment perfectly for him. Flame flinger is still doing its thing on this bottom side, just taking out like half the base and opening up all these walls. King's getting really low here, going to pop the earthquake ability, but take out so many of those buildings there and get some crazy value. Mini Prince goes in on this back right side here, gives it a rage here, and it's going to start taking out some of this backside here. And it seems that the Mini Prince is a lot better than the World Champion for him, especially with that freeze effect. It can really help on the back end here. But again, kept his warden alive for this whole raid, and again, more spells to swag. Has 3 spells there, didn't bother using his clan castle spells. So another good attack by him here, and demolishes this base. It makes it look easy, but trust me guys, not as easy as it looks, but an insane attack by him. All right, next hit in, and we got a double poison diamond base here. Gonna send in a crap ton of rocket loons right at the jump, and it finds a bunch of Teslas, but that's okay because now he's able to set up the flame flinger. So he just wanted to make sure the flame flinger would be fine where it is, and it is now. So the town hall though can outrange the flame flinger, so you do got to be aware of that and got to be careful with that one. But I think it's fine because he's got his warden now moving in. And again, guys, he's going to fireball and get the clan castle. If he can get the clan castle, an early, easy fireball, he always does it seems. So it seems like that's one of his main targets. I think especially because those ice golems in there. And then also because some of those clan castles are anti-warden charge fireball. And will be like 5 rocket loons. And that is a quick way to fail. He told me that he's been averaging over 300 offense. So he's not getting plus 320 every day. He does have his fails. We're not going to show any here, but he does fail, he said. And I think he, gets probably around over 300 every day. And I'm sure he gets his fails here and there, but it just goes to show like offense really matters this season. And in this new ranked mode, it's kind of insane. If you're getting plus 300, like you don't have to go perfect in order to be ranked 3 in the world, which I thought was pretty insane. King Queen on this bottom side with the ice golem. That compartment's nice and open for him. Now his warden is with these yetis, so these yetis, I don't think that's what he wants to happen here. Yetis pull the poison there, but his warden's now going to be kind of grouped up with the yetis, so not exactly what he wants here, but I think those yetis are going to die off, and then his warden's again going to be on its own again, so not too big of an issue there. He does have yetis in his clan castle, even though he uses the flame flinger. Still seems to be the best for him. I would think super minions would be better, but he showed me wrong there. So warden's still alive here again. That's the main thing. Keep your warden alive. Queen gets into the middle of the base, going to take out this monolith, which is going to be huge. That definitely needs to go down. Mini Prince still helping out here. Probably going to die off here in a second. And look at that, guys. Look how many spells he has left. It's a lot of spells still left. He might use like 1 or 2 more on this back end here just to get through this. But yeah, this guy is just wrecking bases here, making it look easy. He makes me want to use the warden charge fireball. Even though I know it won't look like this, it makes me want to use this. I mean, absolutely insane to finish rank 3 in the world with this. I don't think you'd be able to live record and talk when you're using this because you need full focus. But another great hit by him here. All right, next hit in, and this one is, I actually ran this base, a similar version of this base during the end of the season too, and it was doing really well for me. But he's gonna beat up on this base. So identifies a good flame flinger spot on that top side because there's the 2 expos up there, but that's really it. So he uses those. He uses the rocket loons to grab out those mortars on the outside, and now it's just those expos. But those expos really can't reach him there. So now his flame flinger is going to be able to get some good value here for him. And at the same time, he's using his warden over here to just try to grab out as much value as he can here, and again keep it alive. Has to invest a rage pretty early on. Got 2 expos, now got the queen firing on him, so lots of damage there. Definitely needed to invest a rage. Flame Flinger's still going on the top side, getting that good value. Going to take out that multi-gear cannon there, and yeah, 2 expos firing him, so it is a bit tough here, but he's about to take out that one of those expos. Now at this point, if I'm him, I would be concerned about one of those expos switching off the warden and then switching on the flame flinger, but he seemed to not care about that at all, which ended up working out fine. He's the pro here, not me apparently. So warden's going to go in here, going to get a full clan castle pull, which is a little unfortunate. Still has the fireball to use, poisons that furnace there, and now he's going to use the fireball I think when he gets a little bit more into the base here, and I think he wants to get the fire spitters here, if I can recall, and has to invest in 2 invises here on his warden because one of those furnace mites tried going for his warden. And so, yep, there we go. Use the fireball there. Maybe not the exact fireball he wanted to use there. This one did get a little rough for his warden. And again, guys, he's multitasking, right? He's got his king, his queen on the top side. He's worrying about that. He's placing other stuff. And so all this is happening together. So it's just a lot to think about here. So you got to be really careful because, again, the main thing is keep that warden alive. And it's really tough here to keep that warden alive when you got 12 other things going on. If you're only focused on the warden, maybe you can keep it alive. But heck, I even let my warden die. Unfortunately, his mini prince turned like the last second there. Otherwise, the freeze effect would have hit the town hall, and I think that's what he wanted. A little unfortunate there, but no biggie here. He is saving the town hall for the very end here, which is a little bit risky. His warden's now connected with his minion prince. But I think the good part here is it actually works out a little bit better because the minion prince has the jelly effect, and so now the warden's only targeting defenses as well. And so it just adds more power. Plus, it gives that rage effect to that minion prince. So sometimes you do want that minion prince to join up with that warden on the back end, and it shows there how useful that was. And absolutely dominates there, and another 3-star. All right, next hit in, and this is a pretty popular kind of style base. Rage Poison base. This is a really annoying core here, and it's just deadly on all sides. The pathing is really tricky for like Root Rider players and Dragon players to get inside that core. Sends the Warden on the outside of the base here. You know, I thought he might have went for, you know, the Monolith or the Town Hall to fireball that, but he goes for, you know, just a side compartment. Maybe he knows like one of the sides might be baited. He tries to avoid the bait, I think, when he can. Has to rage his Warden early because he's got Expos and Ricochet Cannon, multi-archer firing on him. And the Warden does get pretty low here, but it's able to survive through all that, which a little risky there, but he seems to know exactly how much damage his Warden can take. And you know, that's another thing you get used to. You know exactly what buildings can be firing on you before your Warden will die. And so you get really used to that. And does an early fireball there, and it's able to take out the clan castle. So you actually put the Warden perfectly, because it's able to take out the clan castle. The clan castle never comes out. And look at that, guys. The Flame Flinger goes down already. Barely gets any Flame Flinger value, but it doesn't matter. He still uses the Flame Flinger there. So, I mean, always some sort of Flame Flinger value. And it did set up some pathing for his King, Queen, and Ice Golem there. So, I guess it ended up working out. But, yeah, not the most insane Flame Flinger value. Again, focusing on the Warden on the middle of the base here. He's just got to keep that Warden alive, so he has to invest in invis when he needs to. Uses those rocket loons. So those rocket loons may look random that were pulled in on the left side, but he actually uses those rocket loons to pull his Warden farther to the left side. What he didn't want happening there is the Warden to then join up with the King and Queen, because if the Warden decides to join up with the King and Queen, it's GG's. Sends in the Skelly spell to distract this multi-gear cannon and monolith combo, which is just genius, and a bunch of rocket loons because you don't want that monolith and a multi-gear to fire on your Warden, and so that distracts it perfectly. None of his things take any damage. Warden is now joined up with the minion prince, so they're just gonna be firing off on defenses together like good little buddies. And yeah, at this point this base is gone. Plenty of spells left here too, and it's just all about cleanup. Plenty of troop space left. I mean, this guy's swagging spells, swagging troops in legend mode, which, yeah, no, I'm definitely deploying everything I got because I'm just hoping I get a 3-star. But he's making it look easy here. Plenty of spells of swag here, and just another great triple. All right, last hit I'm going to be showing. And guys, Warden going on this outside right here. And then if you notice on the top side, he is setting up that Flame Flinger value. So uses some loons there to grab out that mortar if he can. Now sends in the Flame Flinger here. Now it is a bit of a risky Flame Flinger spot. So the thing that can outrange his Flame Flinger is that Monolith. And that Monolith absolutely will outrange his Flame Flinger. But I think he figures if he can get out that multi-gear, that might be enough value because that multi-gear is so deadly. Okay, sets up the fireball here and going to fireball that Crusher Mortar area. So gets out that section. Now sets up that pathing for his Warden now to charge down that side. So I think that's exactly what he wanted to do here. And Flame Flinger is probably going to get not wrecked here. Oh, it does get wrecked, sorry. Gets wrecked by the Expo. So I kind of knew it was in a rough spot. But, you know, again, guys, he always just tries to see if he can set up that Flame Flinger value. And if he can, he will. Even if it's not the most insane value. It doesn't have to be the most overpowered value. And if you look at that, his Yetis are actually going to then almost take out, I think, yeah, it is going to end up taking out that Monolith on that top side there. Or, yeah, there we go. It does go down. Okay. Now, King, Queen up on the top side. And they're going to go and fight that Minion Prince there. And he uses an Invis there to keep his King on the inside of the base. Again, guys, he wants the King, Queen to go deep inside the base. He doesn't want that to get distracted. So really heads up play by him to use the Invis to keep his King, Queen on the inside of the base. He can use a baby here to help further funnel that so his Queen can go and take out the Town Hall. I think that's something he wants to grab there. Warren snipes out that Fire Spitter there, now fights the Queen. And Ice Golems unfortunately come out here, and that is, you know, when the Ice Golems come out, it is a bit of an issue here, just because you'd rather the warden fight that than your king and queen, because that really slows up your king queen. But not too big of a deal here for him. He freezes the town hall, so he can't shoot on his queen, so his queen can take out the town hall. Otherwise, one of his clones might have died. Uses some rocket loons on his back end here. Still has his minion prince. He just deployed that on the top side, and yeah, this base is absolutely wrecked. This guy makes it look easy. Another great 3-star by him, so GG's to him. And that is all for the replays, guys. But this guy has been just dominating. It's so cool to see one of the top players in the world and see all of his attacks for the season. And alright, guys, that'll do it for today's video. Huge shout out to Il Sicario. Guys, check out his channel. Just check him out as a player. You know, all of his stuff's going to be linked in the description. This guy's an absolute beast, and super grateful for him for allowing me to make this video. I think it's so cool to be able to see, you know, what some of these top players do and how they're doing it. You know, for me, just watching some of the top players, it makes you a better player because you're learning, oh, that's what I should do in this situation. And so it's just really insightful, and it's been really helpful. Give his army a go. See if you guys can do something similar to him. I've given it a go, and I think it's a great army. I'm just not a great Fireball Rocket Loon player, so I kind of stay away from it. But super talented player, guys. And that's it for today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.